Senator. Now we're going to move to the House of Delegates, the People's Chamber, and we're going to do it in alphabetical order, so we're going to test how well I did in school. Delegate Ward Armstrong. He's been a member of the House since 1992. In 2007, he took on an additional title when his fellow caucus members voted him the minority leader. Besides that leadership position, Delegate Armstrong also serves on 4 committees: Court of Justice, Health, Welfare and Institutions, Finance, and Rules. A model and toy train collector since childhood, Delegate Armstrong enjoys working on his trains in his free time when he's not here with credit union members. And not surprisingly, he is a member of the board for the Virginia Museum of Transportation. We have counted 16,527 credit union constituents in Delegate Armstrong's district. Please welcome Delegate Armstrong.
I don't get to work on those trains very much anymore. I'll tell you that. And it's good to see all of you all here tonight. I would tell you that tonight is the last night that my youngest daughter was going to be home. She starts college, and my oldest daughter's in law school, and so now I'm going to be empty nesters. But the last night she's home, so my wife is out with my mother-in-law and my mother in a deal, and I want to thank you for allowing me to have to. I just got a text message that you owe me, because both of them by themselves are a handful, but they're over at Najars tonight. I've got to tell you a quick story. When I was first elected back in '92, and I don't have to tell you all how fast time flies. It seems like only yesterday, but in the first year, and virtually everything you do as a newly elected delegate is new. And you get invited to this Rotary Club and that Kiwanis Club, and most of the time when you show up, it's probably a group about this size. You get 20, 30 people, or maybe 50 people. I was invited to lunch, the annual meeting of the local Martinsville DuPont Credit Union here at the Dutch Inn. And I figured, okay, yeah, I'll walk in, there'd be about 25, 30 people. There were 250 people when I walked into the room, and of course I'm so shy and retiring. If it hadn't been for that, of course I'd been unnerved by all that many people. Having a big audience didn't particularly bother me. I'm a little bit of an extrovert, but it was amazing to me at the not just then, but now over 18 years, at the level of participation the credit union members have, not just in their credit union, but against or involved in things that matter in state government. The level of participation is much higher than you see with the general public, and I wanted to take the opportunity to tell you that that's been my observation over 18 years of being in the House of Delegates, and how much I appreciate all that you do to participate and to be part of that. The Republic is made stronger when people participate. And I thought we were going to talk about health care reform. But, yeah, I know. Yeah, we could start a fight pretty easy to talk about that. Very briefly, and I won't rehash or reiterate what Roscoe has said, but merely to emphasize it, that the state is not immune from anybody else. So when times are bad or difficult, challenging from an economic standpoint, they're challenging for us. And I'm very proud of our state government that we did get through this recession without raising taxes to try to meet our general fund balances. I know that just to our south, North Carolina's legislature, and they're on a different timetable than we are, and they just adjourned a few weeks ago, and had to incorporate, or did incorporate, a tax increase of nearly $1 billion in order to meet their revenue, and I think that it is good that we've managed to get through that. And it hadn't been without angst and pain. As Roscoe mentioned, $2 billion year before last, $3 billion last year. And the governor just announced yesterday, by the way, part of the reason we didn't watch the documentary last night, we were all traveling home. We were in session yesterday to fix a little glitch in the criminal code created by the U.S. Supreme Court regarding drug analysis. So we had to go in and fix that so we didn't start turning drug dealers out on the street. But in any event, yesterday also was the day designated for the governor to come in and report all of the financial and money committees of the General Assembly, and the state is still struggling. Now, the good news is we are showing signs of the recession bottoming out. And I think that the economists, at least the ones that advise the governor, indicate that by the end of the year we will hit bottom. And I think that that's not the happiest of news to say, oh, we'll just hit bottom, but you can't start back up heading towards the top until you arrest the recession. There are signs, as you know, the stock market has turned around, which is usually your first or your leading factor in a recovery. And we started to see the unemployment rate, the rise in that begin to slow. Now, I don't have to tell anybody in here, we're all from a part of the state where we were struggling even before this recession. It made it worse. We had double-digit unemployment in this area. And then with the recession, City of Martinsville's unemployment rate shot to 22%. Put that in perspective, very few places during the Great Depression had unemployment rates higher than 28 to 30%. And so we're struggling, and there are going to have to be some cuts, and unfortunately I think there probably will be some personnel cuts this time. And nothing, including education, is sacrosanct. So these are challenging times, but at the end of the day, we're Americans. We've gotten through it before. We've heard the wind howl before, and we'll persevere and we'll survive. The harder we work and the more attention we pay to it, I think the quicker and better we'll come out of it. But the last thing I'll tell you about, and I hope you're proud of your state the way that I am, is that one of the things that we have done is we have positioned ourselves prior to this, because we have been so fiscally responsible, that I think we've weathered this storm pretty well, and that when we come out of it, we will be stronger than many of the other states, certainly our other surrounding states, and maybe most of the other states.